When you were angry with me, I felt like I was dying. Please let me speak today. I cannot stay silent anymore. There has been something resting heavily on my heart for far too long. Every passing day, every silent night, every lonely moment has carried the same weight, a weight that only grew stronger after the distance appeared between us. I know that life has not been easy for either of us. I know emotions can become overwhelming, and sometimes words are spoken that neither heart truly means. But today, I cannot hide behind silence anymore. Today, I need you to hear every word that has been waiting patiently inside my soul. When you became angry with me, the world around me seemed to lose its color. It wasn't because I feared your anger itself. It was because your happiness had become so important to me that seeing disappointment in your heart felt like losing a part of myself. Every message that remained unanswered, every conversation that suddenly ended, every moment when your warmth disappeared left me wondering where everything had gone wrong. I replayed our memories over and over again, searching for the exact moment when things changed. Was it something I said? Was it something I forgot to do? Was there a moment when I failed to understand your feelings? These questions never stopped echoing inside my mind. Even when I smiled in front of others, my heart continued searching for answers that only you could give. Many people believe silence means someone no longer cares. But sometimes silence is the loudest cry a heart can make. My silence was never because I stopped loving or appreciating you. My silence came from fear. Fear that every word I spoke would make things worse. Fear that every explanation would sound like another excuse. Fear that I might lose you completely if I kept trying to fix what had already been broken. Still, there comes a moment when silence becomes impossible. That moment has finally arrived. Please allow me to speak. Not because I want to prove myself right, but because I want you to know what has been living inside my heart all this time. I don't expect perfection from either of us. We are both human. We both make mistakes. We both carry scars from experiences that shaped us long before we ever met. Sometimes those scars speak louder than our love, causing misunderstandings that neither of us ever intended. I never wanted our story to become one filled with distance. I imagined laughter replacing tears, understanding replacing confusion, and patience replacing frustration. Life, however, often tests the strongest connections in unexpected ways. It introduces challenges that force us to choose between pride and compassion, between walking away and staying to understand each other. If I ever hurt you, even without realizing it, I am deeply sorry. Not because someone told me to apologize, but because your pain matters to me. The thought that my actions may have caused sadness in your heart has been one of the hardest things I've carried. I would never intentionally place a burden on someone who means so much to me. There were nights when I wished time could move backward. I imagined returning to those simple conversations where we laughed without hesitation. I remembered the moments when everything felt effortless, when a single message could brighten an entire day, when hope came naturally and the future seemed filled with endless possibilities, those memories never disappeared. In fact, they became even more valuable after the silence arrived. Every beautiful memory reminded me that what we shared was real. It reminded me that happiness once lived comfortably between us. That realization gave me hope that maybe, just maybe, understanding could return if both hearts were willing to listen. Please don't mistake my vulnerability for weakness. Speaking honestly requires more courage than pretending everything is fine. For a long time, I convinced myself that hiding my feelings would protect both of us. Instead, it only created more distance. The words I refused to say became walls separating our hearts. Today, I want to tear down those walls. I want you to know that behind every quiet moment was someone hoping you were okay. Behind every unsent message was someone wondering if you were smiling. Behind every sleepless night was someone wishing that peace would return to your heart. No matter how difficult things became, I never celebrated our distance. I never found comfort in misunderstanding. Every disagreement felt like a storm I wished would pass. Every moment apart reminded me how precious genuine connection truly is. Life moves incredibly fast. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and suddenly we realize that time has carried away opportunities we thought would always be waiting for us. I don't want that to happen with us. I don't want pride to write the ending of a story that still deserves another chapter. Maybe we cannot erase the past. Maybe we cannot undo every painful conversation. Maybe we cannot pretend nothing happened, but we can choose what happens next. We can choose understanding instead of assumptions. We can choose honesty instead of silence. We can choose forgiveness instead of resentment. Most importantly, we can choose kindness even when emotions feel overwhelming. I don't ask you to forget everything overnight. Healing doesn't happen in a single conversation. Trust isn't rebuilt with one apology. Understanding doesn't appear instantly. All meaningful things require patience, consistency, and sincere effort. That is exactly what I am willing to give. If there are questions in your heart, ask them. If there are emotions you never expressed, share them. If there are moments you still don't understand, let us talk about them. I promise to listen with an open heart instead of preparing another defense. I want to understand your feelings as much as I hope you'll understand mine, because beneath every misunderstanding, I still see someone incredibly important to me, someone whose happiness genuinely matters, someone whose smile has always carried more value than words could ever describe, and someone I never truly wanted to lose. So today, I am asking for one simple opportunity. Not to erase the past, but to build a better future. One conversation filled with honesty. One moment where both hearts choose understanding over assumptions. No matter what happens after today, I wanted you to know this truth. You were never forgotten, you were never unimportant, and despite everything that happened, a part of my heart never stopped hoping that one day, we would finally understand each other again.